Zidane Daney, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. Today we are going to be starting a new series here on the channel, that being Nerd Chat. This will be a podcast featuring both myself and my two co-hosts, which only one of them is here today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Joker here, joining Electra here, and it's going to be fun.
Oh man, yeah. So we will actually be doing a full review on basically what this whole series is going to be about in our next episode when we actually have all three members, and we'll also be telling you probably who our first guest will be in that episode as well, but I'm not 100% certain. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly how things are going to be playing out. But anyways, guys, welcome to Nerd Chat, and our first episode is that of My Hero Academia, which, why don't you tell them what you've watched and what you've read for the story?
Okay, of what I've watched, I've seen only the first movie, but I've watched all of the seasons that are available that have come out, and I have started reading past season 5 of My Hero, and hopefully we'll see that coming out shortly this year.
And don't you also have a certain side story as well, or at least the first volume of it?
Yes, I have read the first volume of Vigilantes of the manga.
Yeah. So now that you guys know that, just so you guys are aware, we will be talking about some spoilers for both Vigilantes, but that's not really going to be too much. Basically, just say, go read it. And then we will also be having some spoilers for the main series manga, but don't worry, it's not going to be anything that's not out here in America. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy, and we will also briefly bring up the movies, but it's not going to be too much, so don't worry about that. I will also be telling you guys to go read uh, school briefs, because that is honestly, it should be counted as canon, and so on and so forth, and we'll briefly talk about that as well. So yeah. Oh boy. So where do you think we should begin, Joker?
That's a good question. Well, we can start either with volume 21 of the manga and go from there, or we can start somewhere else, wherever you. What do you think?
I'm kind of thinking we should talk about the ships. And honestly, some of
The
the crazy,
ships.
yeah, the relationships, and how Horikoshi
Oh, we're
has
going to
done some
start
things
there.
very funny. Oh my gosh. So, as
Oh boy, we're starting there right now.
yeah, the part that's likely going to get us canceled. Oh my gosh. So, a few things that you guys should know is that both of us are Christian. Uh, Joker is Mormon, and I am Protestant, basically. So, obviously, we do not have any ships that are gay, but we do know about them. And we're also going to talk
We
about the
do
fact.
have friends that are part of that community, don't we?
Yes, yes, we do. And our third host is actually asexual, and will probably get mad at us if we don't talk about it at least somewhat. Oh my gosh.
That's for sure. We don't want that happen now, do we? Because we both know what happened to both of us if she
Yeah,
found out
Frank
that
the
we did
Dopamine
not talk
Dog
about
just gets
this.
ridiculous at times. So that's why she's kind of joining us. But yeah, so it's actually kind of funny because a large majority of the ships are, well, gay. With things like uh, Totodeku and Bakugo Kirishima, basically all but one of Momo's ships Oh my gosh. But we do have to. I at least have to say that Horikoshi has really outdone himself by basically, in order to make sure that people don't necessarily say that his characters are gay, he's introduced so many characters just to be love interests for these characters. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which is your favorite of those? Because there's really three specifically, but that are completely new characters that were introduced just to do that. And then there's also the whole thing with Momo and Mina. So, which ones do you think?
I don't know. They're all very interesting how the author puts these characters into these different situations.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, for those of you who aren't fully aware of how it works, basically they introduced Miss Illusion, primarily to be a ship for Bakugo. They introduced frickin' Miss Joke to be there for Aizawa, and then I'm forgetting who the third one was, but yeah, it which one was that? There was one other, but I'm forgetting which one it was.
I don't know.
But the
I can't
point
remember
is,
off the top of my head.
and then there's all of the ones that they introduced the ships later after the characters to kind of keep people from shipping. Such as Kirishima and Mina. That was a fun little thing. That's honestly, I think that was probably the cutest little
I don't think
backstory.
I've seen that one yet.
No, you saw it. It was briefly in the uh, Hideout Raid arc, season 4.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
Kirishima is thinking
Now I
back about
remember.
how Mina and him were together, were in that were at their school together, and then he started falling in love with her and all that jazz, and it's kind of sweet. It is. And then
Okay. I would have to go back and rewatch it.
how many times have you rewatched that now?
This is actually my first time actually rewatching
That
season
season.
4.
Okay.
That season.
But you have
The other
rewatched
seasons,
you recently rewatched all of the other seasons, right?
yes, I have recently watched all of those ones.
Okay. Oh boy. But they also introduced well, didn't introduce it, but they who was that? The obviously Momo and Kirishi or not Kirishima, Todoroki are starting to get together, which that looks cute.
Well, that one started in when did that one start?
It was
That
right
one I
before
think started at the
end of season 2, I
end
think.
of season end of season 2. That's when they really started doing that one.
Yeah. And they haven't really gone too much more into that one, but I think that's mostly because of the fact that he really wants to mostly focus on obviously Ochako and Deku, which he sadly hasn't been able to do much with those. Like they do get some really good moments
Yeah.
in the manga after, but honestly, even now I'm still a bit nervous to see how things are going to be going for the rest of the story. I actually do think that the next episode or the next chapter, I mean, in the manga for me, might just happen to have a very sweet moment where Uraraka is just sitting next to Deku's bed, which that is kind of a bit of a spoiler, but don't worry too much about that.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets injured like every other time, so. But yeah. Oh no, you got cut out again. But yeah, while we're waiting for you to get back in. Oh, there you're back.
I'm
So
back. Okay.
yeah, um, we're not gonna
Yeah,
restart.
it's not what?
We're not restarting. But yeah, needless to say,
Okay.
we are currently
Well, what
recording
I was
this over
saying is that it's
Facebook Messenger, and it's not fun.
no, it's not.
More than likely, we will
Anyway,
be moving
what I was
over
saying
to
is
either
that
Discord or Facebook, or not Facebook.
Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah, and you did cut out a little bit there as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're having technical difficulties, everyone, due to COVID and everything. It would be so much easier if we could just like get together, but this is the way of life anyway.
yeah.
Anyway, what I
But
was
we
saying is
should
that
probably at
it's
least let
not
them know that
surprising.
this summer we will actually be doing a episode of Nerd Chat where we'll actually all be in the same room together. Hopefully. As long as we all get our vaccines.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
Please, crossing our
Anyway, what I
fingers
was
that we
saying
get
is
our
that
vaccines.
yes. Anyway, what I was saying is that it's not surprising to see Deku get injured every so often.
Yeah, that's true.
It
Oh,
happens too many times already.
I wish I could mention one spoiler because it's honestly the most hilarious thing ever. But unfortunately, since you haven't seen it or you haven't gotten up to that point, which I'm starting to think maybe you should just get a 7-day free trial of Viz and read as fast as you can. But I don't know. That the that arc is really intense, and I don't want people to be reading it super fast like I did.
Yeah.
Also,
Also,
take your
Deku
time
or
around.
Uraraka just needs to ask each other out already.
Yes, they do. Oh my.
Come on, Uraraka has feelings, so she might as well just go out up and ask Deku if he wants to go out on a date already.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Just look at us. Two single dudes giving people advice.
Oh dear goodness.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, honestly, they both just need to talk to each other because they clearly love each other, and it's so cute. Of course, Deku's not gonna be able to
It
talk
really
ever.
is.
Deku's not gonna be able to talk until Uraraka tells him. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Especially what like happened. What volume was it? What will be happening in this next season,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah. So actually, speaking of
Especially with that
relationships
theme.
and shit, um, uh, so freaking school briefs. I keep telling you and multiple people read school briefs because honestly, it's even though it's the only part that is a light novel, at least currently. I think that the tag team missions will actually be a light novel, but I'm not 100% certain. Um, but I always tell people read school briefs because it adds so much to the story, and you wouldn't think it, but it really does. Uh, the first, the first thing is, or the first volume, I guess, uh, is basically just the kids having fun and having a crazy test. And I'm not exact. I think it's right after the Stain arc. So, yeah. It honestly really develops a lot of the characters to an insane degree. And honestly, it makes me love Tokoyami. He's honestly a really great character, especially in that. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, there's that,
I really like
and then in
really like
volume
the
two, which
same
is the
arc.
reason why I bring up the character thing or the relationship thing, is the fact that in that the girls are like, "Ooh, let's talk about boys and what boys we like," and all of the girls are just like, "Yeah, we don't know who we like." Except for Uraraku, who's just like
Except
nervously,
for
just like, "Please
Uraraka.
don't notice, please don't notice, please don't notice." And yeah, she just has a
Yeah, but
whole
that
bunch of
changes
moments.
later in the actual series and in the anime of them actually talking to Uraraka about who she likes and tries to ask her,
Yeah. Oh boy, it's
which is a
honestly
really
just a whole
funny
bunch of chaos.
conversation.
And yeah, so the first volume doesn't really have much of a connection, but the second volume is happening all during the summer camp, and actually explains a lot of things that happen, including the fact that that the class or the group, all the boys decided, you know what, we don't trust uh freaking Mineta, so we are going to take initiative and we are going to tie him up into the ball that we see him in when they're all sleeping in their room. So we really do see that even those who are not necessarily those of them who are actually a bit pervy, they at least realize that we should not let Mineta have any free reign and just tie him up.
Yeah, Mineta is the worst of them all.
Yeah. You know what's funny though is that for some reason there are people who ship him with people. It's rare, but it does happen. Like I think there's some that ship him with Froppy, which I don't understand at all.
That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me just because of uh what we've seen
Yeah.
in both the anime and the manga between those two characters.
Yeah. Kind of makes some sense. But yeah.
But out of all the girls, for Mineta, I feel like Froppy's the only one that would be able to tolerate him
Yeah. And
in a
I believe that the
relationship.
only one who doesn't have very many ships actually, because most of them actually have multiple ships, but the only one that doesn't have very many ships is Higakure, and everyone for some reason ships her with what's his name, the tail guy. I always forget what his name is, but tail guy.
So do I. Hold on, let me check.
Everyone forgets his name, and I don't understand why. I think it might be Ojiro. No, is it? I don't know.
Yes, yes,
It is Ojiro.
yes.
Okay.
I think it is.
And Shoji is the multi-armed guy, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay.
Soji is that one.
Oh my gosh. I'm actually kind of wondering though who is going to be introduced to stop the shippers of frickin' Mirio and uh, uh the other guy, because currently there are two ships for Mirio. Um the first one is obviously that of him with Nejire, but the other one is with Tamajiki, who's the guy who can shapeshift. And it's just, I'm hoping that, because I'm expecting it soon, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm hoping that someone gets introduced for Amajiki as a relationship, because we all know that Mirio's probably not going to be the one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mirio, I feel like more than likely will be like relationship with oh,
Nejire.
I can't think of her name.
It's Nejire. Nejire
She's the one
Hado.
with the big hands
Oh, you think
as
that
the
he's going to
quirk,
get with
right?
Kendo? Kendo is younger than him, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think that any of the one. I don't think there's any ships with the 1B class, which is honestly really weird. Except for I think actually many people actually think that Kendo is going to get with Monoma, who is the guy who can borrow quirks. And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's who I was thinking about. Monoma
Kendo.
and her are the one and Kendo are going to probably get together just because of that relationship that they have with him always
Being a
going
dork, and then she just
crazy
smacks him on
and
the top of the head.
being a dork. Yeah, I feel like those two are definitely going to be the ones that get together in Class B.
Oh my gosh. It's even crazier because I don't think they actually revealed this uh, in the anime or the manga, but in the light novel in School Briefs, they actually reveal that she has like a whole bunch of like motorcycle pictures and stuff. And it's honestly just really cool. She, uh, she's
That
like the
doesn't
most,
surprise me.
huh? It doesn't
I
surprise you?
said
Or?
that doesn't surprise me.
Also,
No, it
it's
doesn't.
also funny because they also mentioned that Tetsu has the exact same frickin' room as frickin' Kirishima. And it makes so much sense since they
You
are
know that?
literally the exact same person.
Yeah, Kirishima and Tetsu. That's an interesting. That one I can see people probably have those two having a relationship, but not a
Tetsu and Kirishima?
relationship.
I don't think anyone has
Yeah,
ever
like
shipped
link
them.
those two together just because they have like the same quirk
I
as
mean,
each other.
they're basically best friends, which is awesome, but that's about it. Speaking of other classes, which class do you think Shinso is going to be going into?
Oh, okay. I feel like just because of his attitude, he might be put in Class B, but because of Mr. Aizawa trying to teach him how to use the binding um,
The binding
rope, is that
scarf?
he's going to probably be in, yeah, the binding scarf put in Class A just so that Aizawa can
Continue
help
teaching him.
him learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, I
just
actually do
like,
want to mention something. It's actually revealed in, I think, Vigilantes. I'm not 100% certain if it's in Vigilantes or if it's in uh, the actual My Hero Academia. But I don't really consider this a spoiler. But apparently, 2A used to be Aizawa's class. So, from the way that it's sounding, for the most part, teachers don't actually move up with their students. But because of the way that things have been going, I honestly can't see the teachers being separated from their students. I feel like for due to just all that's been happening with the League of Villains, Aizawa is going to be staying with Class 1A, and uh, Vlad King is going to be staying with 1B, and obviously Shinso and is going to be joining Class 1A, and also I think that a few other people are going to be going into that class. Basically, I think that something that's
who?
going to be pretty important going forward is that on their in the housing, Class 1A is going to continue to stay in their house on campus, but I also think that Aizawa, probably also All Might, Eri, and obviously Shinso, and then Mirio are all going to be going into Class 1A's dorms.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's absolutely going to happen, but it honestly just makes too much sense to me, and I don't know why.
That's an interesting thought.
And yeah. And then obviously so on and so forth. Uh, but let's just avoid any topics involving Midnight, okay?
Yeah, no, we don't need to. We don't need to talk about the R-rated hero here.
Yeah, that's one thing. Well, the other thing is a spoiler, but I'm not going to mention it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, something bad happens. I'm not going to say what, but yeah. Also, um, like I was saying before, you should read School Briefs, and I'm gonna probably be bringing this up a lot. But School Briefs has some honestly really cool stuff, especially the fourth volume, which goes into basically showing everything that happens during the frickin' school festival, which is amazing. Oh. And basically it explains how Deku was able to make the uh, candied apple at the end of the season, but it also explains things like what all of the other students were doing, and also a just awesome moment between frickin' Class C and Shinso. And I want to talk about it, but unfortunately I don't want to spoil it because it's so frickin' sweet. And yeah, you should absolutely read it. And sadly, I don't know if there's going to be any more school briefs going forward after volume 4 because there's not been any word of any more afterwards. Instead, I think it's going to be all being replaced by the fact that there's now the team up missions. I'm not sure if it's a manga or if it's a light novel, but that's going to be the replacement for that. Which I'd actually hope that it would be the replacement for frickin' Smash, because holy shnikey, Smash is shit. Ay, ay, ay. I have problems.
Yes, yes, you do.
So, I think you don't you know about a certain someone now? A certain supervillain that happened to create a certain someone's outfits.
Oh, yes.
Should we talk about that?
I don't know. Do you want to mention that?
Let's talk about it. So, for those of you who aren't aware, Dentrant, who is one of the main antagonists in the villain arc, as well as becoming one of the main antagonists for the series going forward as far as it's appearing, Dentrant is also the creator of frickin' Bakugo and Uraraka's outfits, or at least his company is, which I honestly just find absolutely hilarious. Basically, a lot of the different classmates do share creators for their outfits. I'm not 100% certain on all of them, but some notable ones is obviously uh, Deku and Todoroki have the same designer, as well as obviously, like I said, Uraraka and Bakugo, and then both frickin' Jiro and Kaminari, again, all they have their own the same creators. But Bakugo and Uraraka are the only ones, as far as we're aware, whose creator of their outfits is evil. So I'm actually curious to see what their new outfits are going to be looking like going forward. You've obvious. I don't think you've seen yet Uraraka's newest outfit because she does get a
No,
new
I don't
one.
think I have.
I believe that gets revealed in volume either 25 or 26. So I will let you know on that. And since you're not allowed to read 26 until you get caught up with Vigilantes, well, yeah.
Yeah. A lot to catch up on.
We should actually make a big point of that. Do not read volume 26 of My Hero Academia until you read volume 9 of Vigilantes, which unfortunately, Vigilantes volume 9 does not come out until March. So make sure that you wait at least until March and have read all 9 volumes of Vigilantes before you read volume 26. It is so much more impactful and so heart-wrenching to know that stuff. So please, like I said, read Vigilantes. Or also probably wait until they actually create the anime, because they are going to create an anime for Vigilantes. We all know it. It is awesome. You can fight me. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they haven't
That's
announced
exciting
yet
that
that they are going to be making that, nor have they announced that they're going to be making frickin' Witch Hat Atelier. But yeah, I'm hoping that soon they will be announcing that, and hopefully frickin' Funimation will hire me to be voice actor. For those of you who aren't fully aware, I have been saying for a little while that I want to play both the crawler from My Hero Academia Vigilantes, but I also want to play either Kifrey or Urugio from Witch Hat Atelier. So if they can get so if we get those animes, then absolutely I really hope that I will be the voice actor. But don't think that I won't be able to say for sure until, well, I actually get the job. But yeah. Sorry, had to make that quick little statement.
Stop here.
Funimation, hire me.
Can we stop here?
Huh? You think we should?
Can we stop here?
Yeah, we should probably stop here. Because this is
Okay.
Honestly, this is the end. We've talked a lot about My Hero Academia, and honestly, I think that you guys get the idea. This is basically how Nerd Chat is gonna work. We're basically just gonna have fun rambling about different nerdy things, and yeah, next time is gonna be a lot of fun because we are going to be talking about basically how this whole thing works, and hopefully the episode after that will be Star Wars, which I'm not 100% certain, so don't take my word for that. But it is kind of planned. So hopefully that is how things go. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and of course we have our co-host...
Joker here.
And we will see you guys next time. But on...